Oh, go.
You're good. All right, excellent. Thanks, Michelle. Welcome everyone to our March 2021 remote village board meeting. Could you please all mute your mics, but say the Pledge of Allegiance along with me, and I will share the screen to do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to start at the top of our meeting as usual with our staff reports. The board you've had a couple of reports submitted for this week. Fire department and I believe Public Works. I don't think I had any questions. I don't know if anyone does. We can submit those to the department heads because they're not here tonight. Or if there's something with the fire department you want to ask, you could ask Nick. Everybody good there? Okay. I'm going to move over. I have a couple things. There's not an official mayor's report right now, but a couple things I just want to mention to folks at home. We started on the end of February, the 24th, with our first budget workshop, where all the departments came and presented their draft budgets to the board. So we have just started the budget process. There's a ways to go. We have some follow-up meetings coming on March 10th and perhaps March 17th, depending on if we get all the work done. So just to bring that to your attention. Secondly, the Police Reform and Review Committee will be hosting a public forum on 3/4. So this Thursday at 7 o'clock. The remote link is online along with information. John, I don't know if you want to add anything or if I just covered it all. Am I good?
It's gonna be at 7 o'clock. Public forum. We have a working document or a draft at this point. We're going to hear from each member of the committee and talk about what we had talked about throughout this whole process. The police had done all the policies that they had a chance to review, and they updated all these policies, and that's within the draft itself. So,
and they're coming as well. So any questions for officers, this is your chance to do that. And so that is Thursday night at 7.
Yep.
And something I was sent tonight, just a FYI, because I know a lot of people out there are trying to find vaccine appointments. And I know I am one who's been constantly trying to do that for friends and relatives. I did hear Albany County is going to have another live link tomorrow night at 5 for the Times Union Center for an evening. So look at the Albany County page. That's where the link will be tomorrow. It was sent to me this evening.
my wife Bridget said there's like an app that she felt that was the best way to get an appointment with.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, this was
probably you're right, John, because if you don't know where to look
Yeah.
on the Albany County website, you will never find the link.
Yeah, she was able to get an
Yeah,
appointment
it's
that way.
not plainly open.
Here, is it tomorrow night or tonight? Because Peter sent an email saying it was tonight at 5.
Oh, I had gotten it saying tomorrow, but maybe that was a dated email. It was forwarded to me. So I could be incorrect. I thought it was
Today. I got 4 different appointments for people at SUNY. So
Yeah.
if you keep looking.
Yes, SUNY was plentiful last night. There were quite a few.
Yeah. Not anymore, but they were there if you keep checking.
CVS had quite a few this afternoon for local CVSs. So Schenectady, Albany. So
Yep.
I saw something to the effect that President Biden saying possibly May, even as early as May, right? Everybody heard the same thing that
They said they're going to have enough supply by the end of May.
supply.
But they might not be able to distribute it by that quickly. But the supply will no longer be the limiting factor.
If people are willing to take it, I mean, we could be on the road to no social distancing and no masks and kind of living life normally again. It'd be nice.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
So that's my public service announcement, but those links have been coming out in the last 2 days pretty fast and furious, which is great. So I'm going to move down to the treasurer's report, or I should say the abstract, and after reviewing the vouchers, can I have a motion to approve the abstract for this month? Michelle, can you say it though for the recording? Sorry.
I will motion that.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
John, a second. Can I have roll call, please?
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
Trustee Ganance,
In favor.
Trustee Fahrenkopf,
In favor.
Trustee Scally,
In favor.
Mayor Denine.
favor. I'm going to move to the public comment portion of our meeting. So if anyone in the public has something they want to share with the board, now would be the time to do that. And maybe if you just wave your hand at me or something, that would help. Okay, I'm not seeing any movement. All right, so I'm going to
I'm
move.
sorry. Whoops, sorry.
Hey, go ahead.
Carrie, I tried to raise my hand, so I apologize that that didn't work. So Kate Provencher from Thatcher Drive. Two things. One, I wanted to ask about, I really appreciate the meetings being held over Zoom and the minutes coming out. I'm recalling that when we were able to meet in person, we'd be able to see the department reports. There'd be copies at the back of the room that we could pick up. I wonder if there's a way to include those in the meeting minutes going forward.
Yeah, we can probably figure out a way to get those with the information online, with the agenda.
Okay, great. That would be nice to be able to see that and review that as we have in the past. So thank you for that. And then the other thing is that I note that Dean is not running again for village board. So I'm thinking this is your last official meeting, Dean. And I just personally want to thank you for your dedicated service to the village. I know that I know only some of the things that you've done besides attend the village board meetings and do the behind the scenes work that included chairing the comprehensive plan committee, being the liaison to the zoning and planning boards. I just think you've been consistently there thinking about the best for the village for 16 years. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Kate.
And I'm gonna say agreed, and then at the end of the meeting, we're gonna talk a little more about Mr. Whalen probably, so.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
great.
we're gonna talk about the stuff that Kate doesn't know about. No, that's not gonna go well.
I appreciate you coming to the meeting and saying that. That was wonderful because we all agree with everything you just said.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do that. So I'm going to go back on mute, but thank you.
So I'm going to move on to the agenda for this evening. Let's look to start with item number 1, which is our public hearing. Allison, would you mind reading the posting to open the public hearing?
Yes. Village of Altamont Board of Trustees Notice of Public Hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Village of Altamont Board of Trustees will hold a public hearing on March 2nd, 2021 at 7:00 p.m. to consider proposed local law number 1 of 2021 entitled A Local Law Amending Chapter A 405 of the Code of the Village of Altamont to modify the capital charge for new water and sewer connections outside the village. The public hearing will be held remotely and can be accessed by the public using the following internet link or dial-in phone number. And the topic is provided, the proposed local law, along with the time, internet link, meeting ID, and telephone number for those who choose to join by phone. A copy of the proposed local law and related materials will be available on the village website at www.altamontvillage.org. Hard copies may also be obtained by contacting the village clerk. Patty Blackwood, village clerk.
Thanks so much. So this was a public hearing tonight we talked about this at our last meeting when we said it, to amend 405 of our code of the Village of Altamont to modify a capital charge for new water and new sewer connections for users outside of the village. So not for any of our residents inside. The changes would be $3,000 for a water hookup and $7,000 for the wastewater hookup. And we have been working through our budget, budget meeting and more to come on this, but, realizing we're trying to take some proactive measures to bring revenue into the village, as we have seen that our revenues have been going down and expenses have been going up. And this is not going to be something that's a constant. We don't have, that much to give outside of the village, but should it come up, then we have some, just another revenue stream coming in. So if anybody from the public or from the board has anything they want to ask about it, or have our, what your thoughts are on it.
Gary, you should probably clarify that the revenues you're talking about is water and sewer revenues, not general revenues.
Our water and sewer, so anything that's water always goes into the water fund, everything that's from sewer goes into the sewer fund. Yeah, basically what Dean just said, that's it. It's not general fund, it's not money that gets spent on roads, it's not money that gets spent on banners or staff that well, I shouldn't say that, some of the staff for those departments, but not like our just fire or anything like that, equipment, Mr. Newman, you got a question? Go ahead. Oh, I think you're still on mute.
There we go.
There we go.
I was just curious how the 3,000 and 7,000 was arrived at. Is that like an average price
I was talking,
across the region or something?
no, just an increase. We're at 2,500 now, so it was an increase to 3,000. Talking to Jeff Moeller about it, he felt that was a reasonable charge for what he knows, water hookups and things like that. Yep.
Okay.
Well,
Anybody else?
hello,
Yep, Dean, is that you?
it might be me.
I can hear you. Did you want to say something? I can't tell.
No, I was just going to point out that when Jeff looked at both the fee structures, it has been quite a while since they have been raised. So 500 may seem like a lot, but it's been quite some time.
And it's one of those things that, when I think about it too, oh, I just lost somebody. Did you guys lose me or did I just lose the picture? Oh, there we go. Sorry. Something popped on my screen. One of those things that when we hook up outside users, one of the things that we don't gain from any house that hooks up to water and sewer, except for money going to those funds, which helps operate those systems, we do not get taxes from these houses. We don't, they're getting a utility that's very valuable from us, and yet we're not getting anything after that initial charge for any, 20 years on down the road. So we're not receiving taxes from these houses. So this is, go ahead, Mr. Newman.
I was going to comment after Dean said that I don't think that sounds like much of an increase at all. And it seemed, the overall price seemed
Well,
fairly.
yeah, for water, it isn't there's a $2,000 jump for sewer though, right?
Okay.
That's a bit of a jump.
I mean, it seems like if someone wants to hook up that, I don't know, a higher price might be in order, or I don't see that being that expensive for
Karen,
what we're offering.
could you clarify, this is the fee, but they still have to pay lots of other things to get the actual connection, right?
They have to pay tap-in fees after, this is the hook connection, they have to pay the hookup fee in addition.
What's the difference between those things?
So these are the administration fees. And the tap-in fee is the actual cost to do the connections.
Okay, that's what I was saying. So this does cover our work, right? Analyzing whether or not we can do it and lining up all the permits to dig and whatnot. But then on top of that, they still have to pay for the actual work that it takes to do the connection, right? Do we have any idea what that adds on to the cost?
I don't right now.
I know it probably varies depending on how close they are to the line.
Sure. We don't do it, if something's a development, we don't do the development, we do into our lines. You know what I'm saying? We don't do the whole, like if it were Whipple Way, we don't do that. We do the hookups, at the street. What I'm trying to say. More or less. Kate.
Yeah, I think I know the answer to this, but since it's a public hearing about water sewer hookups, one of the other things that always gets considered is that we're still able to support water and sewer outside the village, correct? Before we do a hookup, that there's a formula that's been put in place or a way of determining that.
I'm gonna guess the date, but it was around 2008 or so, I think. We did we re-examined capacity, in-house. We looked at capacity. I think Tim McIntyre at that time may have worked with our engineers some. And we tried to figure out how many were inside, because inside is, has the right to the water, and then outside. It's been many years we've had people come on, here and there, a house here, house there, inside and outside. So, definitely Jeff has a process before he says yes to anything. He's got to, see what's available and then come to us and talk about it.
Great,
And
thank you.
actually, Kate, to your question, further down on the agenda is actually kind of an example of a check of that
Okay,
for a potential
thanks.
property.
Yeah,
Anybody else have anything for the public hearing? All right.
If I might,
Annie, is it you?
yeah, okay. I understand this is trustee Whalen's last official trustee meeting. So I want to thank him for his years of service and good guidance. Thank you, Dean.
So it was years of service and occasional good guidance. Is that what you're saying?
Job well done. Thank you.
If no one has from the public anything more on this, I'm going to then close the hearing just to talk with the board about this a little bit here. So can I have a
Yep.
motion? Sorry.
Yep. I'll second Nick's motion.
All right, I'll make the motion then to close the public hearing.
I didn't even spit it out. Okay. Roll call, please. Nick and then Dean.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
trustee Ganance,
In favor?
trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
trustee Scally,
In favor?
Mayor Denine.
So I guess, I'll ask the board your thoughts on.
Karen,
What?
did you vote in favor of closing it?
I did. Can you not hear me again? I'm
I
sorry.
didn't right then.
You're not very loud, Carrie, at all.
I haven't changed anything. I don't know what to tell you.
We need your teacher voice.
Sounds pretty quiet.
Pat would tell you I'm very loud right now. Can you hear me now? I feel like a Verizon commercial. Okay. Hold my microphone. All right. So, okay, I lost my track there. To the board. So to Mr. Newman's point, about the fees, I know when we first discussed this at the initial meeting, there was concern about, we don't want to, overcharge. We thought these were raises that were probably pretty appropriate. Jeff had approved them. I'm comfortable with them, and I agree with Mr. Newman that I don't think it's a lot, but I know he's saying you could probably do more. Maybe we could, and maybe in the future we could look at that, seeing how we're doing, but I'm comfortable with where we're at now because speaking with Jeff. So
We should probably clarify that we are, of course, then getting the income from the actual usage of the water too. So there is that additional income with a new house outside of this building, as there is in the building.
And that is, their water rates are already, they will be double, and their sewer rates will be 100, double, also. So just something to keep in mind, that is a hefty, rate for those that aren't in the village, I think. You have a family of 4, especially. Well, can I move on to number 2 to talk about this or talk through this? We'll start with that and see if we want to go into it. Okay. So let me move this over here. Item 2 says consider seeker review of proposed local law number 1 of 2021. So if you looked at your materials, you've got the short environmental form, and you've got part 1 and part 2. And Allison, I know you explained this for us last week, but do you mind doing a summary of why we don't necessarily have to do every, like it's a property, we don't have to do every question in the same manner as you would for like a development or something like that?
Yes. So the way that, because this isn't on either of the seeker type 1 or type 2 lists, it's an unlisted action. And so we're able to use the short environmental assessment form. And when you come down to, right on the first page, when you come down to question number 1, does the proposed action only involve the legislative adoption of a plan, local law, ordinance, administrative rule, or regulation? And then it says, if yes, attach a narrative description of the intent of the proposed action and the environmental resources that may be affected in the municipality, and then proceed right to part 2. So because the only action the board is considering tonight is the adoption of a local law to amend the fee schedule, we check yes on that, and then we proceed right to part 2. We did include a narrative with the part 1 of the EAF that has been available at Village Hall with the proposed local law since it was introduced. And this narrative has a brief explanation of the local law, and it describes the action. And it says, essentially, the intent of the local law is to provide for the economic, environmentally safe, and legal operation of the public sewer system and water supply system, and the general health, safety, and general welfare of the system's users. And it concludes, since the proposed action will not directly result in any land disturbance or development, and since it would generally apply to the whole village, most of the questions in part 1 of the EAF are just not applicable. It also notes that the local law is administrative in nature and will not result in any land development approvals, permits, or subsequent land development in itself. So because the action is just limited to this administrative action of adopting the local law, there really is no environmental impact associated with any kind of subsequent development.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys have the forms in front of you. Do you have any question on any of the impacts from the part 2 impact assessment or anything like that that's been filled in according to what Allison just described? We good with that? Looks like it. All right, so what I'd like to do is, just for number 2, can we consider a motion to approve a resolution to adopt a negative declaration pursuant to seeker for proposed local law number 1 of 2021, amending chapter A 405 of the Code of the Village of Altamont to modify the capital charge for new water and sewer connections for users outside the village? Could I have a motion?
So moved.
John, and second is Michelle. Can you say it, Michelle? Just say second.
I keep being off mute. I second it.
Thank you. And roll call, please.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
trustee Ganance,
In favor.
trustee Farronkov,
In favor?
trustee Scally,
Favor?
Mayor Denine.
In favor. Okay. Item 3 is consider approving adoption of local law number 1 of 2021, amending chapter A 405 of the Code of the Village of Altamont to modify the capital charge for new water and sewer connections for users outside the village. Can I have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Dean made the motion, and second,
I'll second.
Nick, and roll call, please.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
trustee Ganance,
In favor.
trustee Farronkov,
In favor?
trustee Scally,
In favor?
Mayor Denine.
In favor. Okay, great. And thank you for your comments from the audience. I seem to be having more sound problems here. Okay, sorry, it's one of those nights. Yep. Okay. I'd like to go to item number 4. Consider authorizing Mayor Denine to sign an escrow agreement with Prime Capital Development for technical and legal services on water and sewer application for a project located on Gun Club Road, Town of Guilderland, New York, tax map 37.00-2-25. I think Dean alluded to this earlier. There's land down on Gun Club Road. We were approached about, could you supply us with water and sewer? There's no details on, the whole development yet. So we are having an escrow agreement with the company involved so we can have our engineers study our capacity, because that's the only way we will know if we would have, how much we have, and would we be able to even look at something that is several houses. So that's what this agreement is. Could I have a motion to move this?
So moved.
That John,
I'll second.
Dean was second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
trustee Ganance,
In favor?
trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
trustee Scally,
In favor?
Mayor Denine.
Favor. Item 5 is consider resignation of Lucinda Flower, senior van driver, effective February 22nd, 2021. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Val, and second,
I'll second.
Dean, and roll call, please.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
trustee Ganance,
In favor?
trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
trustee Scally,
In favor?
Mayor Denine.
In favor. Item 6 is consider holding annual organizational meeting on Tuesday, April 6th, 2021 at 7 p.m.
Now,
So moved.
I'll second, but I need to clarify that in seconding, that doesn't mean I have to attend.
I think it does.
Okay, fair enough.
So
I'll
that's
se-
part about once you're in, once we have you in, you can't get out type of a thing. All right, I think Nick was first and Dean was second.
Mhm.
And roll call, please.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
trustee Ganance,
In favor?
trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
trustee Scally,
In favor?
Mayor Denine.
Favor. Item 7 is consider holding budget public hearing prior to adoption on Tuesday, April 6th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Do I have a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Second,
I'll second it.
and roll call, please.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
trustee Ganance,
In favor?
trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
trustee Scally,
In favor?
Mayor Denine.
Favor. Michelle, can you do me a favor? Do you see anybody in the waiting room right now?
No, there's no blue, like when Danny showed, what? Aha, now it is. Hold on.
My wrist is dinging.
When Danny did it, he got like a big announcement, but
Okay, just wanted to, my wrist is dinging and I saw I can't get in, so I'm just,
I don't understand. Well, they're in now, but I did not get any notifications of any kind, but
no problem.
they're in. We're all good.
Sounds good. Oh, there's my thing going crazy. Item 8, consider approval of board minutes for February 2nd, 2021. Motion, please.
So
John.
moved.
Okay, I'll second.
All right, Dean is second, John is first, and roll call, please.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
trustee Ganance,
In favor?
trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
trustee Scally,
In favor?
Mayor Denine.
Favor. Before we go to item number 8 or 9, I think 9. This is, Dean, this is your moment. Second last time. This is your big moment in time since you're in the mountains. But true, in all honesty, we wanted to thank you, especially I want to thank you for all your work over the last 16 years. That is a long.
16 years. What?
Been together a long time, my friend. And I think you and I met like 18 years ago on a police review committee, if I remember correctly, and we sat together for a while.
That's how it started.
How it all,
Wow.
and the knowledge that you brought to the village and to committees and all those things Kate spoke about earlier tonight is very much appreciated. You'll be irreplaceable as far as I'm concerned. But we hope you come to meetings and will lend us your expertise if called upon. If we call you for an opinion, you'll still be there to answer the phone for us. So thank you very much. I don't know if anybody else from the board wanted to say a word.
I would like to say thank you as well, Dean. We've
I did.
known each other for a long time. I know Chris thought the world of you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you've done for the planning board and for all the time you've given to the village.
Thank you.
I'll pile on too, Dean. I think I met you even before joining the board through ACT. And so for all the things that you've done for the village, both on the board and off the board, thank you. I mentioned to Carrie in jest the other day that I'm particularly going to miss your professional expertise on the board. Not that a music teacher and a semiconductor engineer aren't useful, but sometimes having an architect's opinion is even more useful. So for that, we'll especially miss you and hope to see you around.
Thank you very much, Dean. We
Yeah,
had the chance to act like Nick did, and my tenure on the planning board, I learned a lot from you. And then again, on the village board, I learned even more from you. It's invaluable experience, and hate to lose you, but thank you very much, Dean. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
So
Dean,
what you guys learned from me, was any of it of any value or any good?
it's always of value. It's always
Always good. It's always good. And traditionally, I must say, now I'm gonna, hopefully you'll be up a little while. I'm gonna run over to your house shortly. Because normally we'd be in person, so we could then present you with this wonderful gift. And,
Don't run, the walks are icy. Don't, just,
well, we'll figure it out. Well, there's another piece to this though, because usually, like traditionally, we have some cake for people who retire in the back of the room after a meeting. That is kind of our tradition. So we got you and Kelly a little bit of cake for tonight. There you go. I'll bring that over as well. We thought you should have that. And we wish you all the best. I'm, gonna definitely miss calling you. We've had a lot of chats over the years, so
you can still call me.
I still will.
I have to say, I thank everybody for their thoughts. I have to say one thing that everybody probably knows, but you forget is, even though she's back at the house, literally, Kelly's been along for this ride for 16 years too. So I thank you for putting up with the monthlies and the bi-weeklies and me grumbling when I disagree with something in the paper. And so,
Yes, a lot of library galas we've gone to together and
yes.
dinners and all that stuff. And I want you to know, I'm not just speaking for the board, or speaking, and they're here as well, but that's all the staff. They were all part of this. So when you'll see their messages to you and all that. So that's from everybody that's not maybe here tonight, but Patty and the gang, I should say. Well, Patty's here, but the rest of the gang. So.
Well, much appreciated. That was, if you have an opportunity, and it does take time and everything, but what was interesting is, and Carrie can speak to this too, is I had no idea. And at this level, it's a really neat way to see government, because it is, you basically can touch everything. You go, okay, why are we spending $2,000 for sewage going down to Albany to be burned? But you see that you get to a bigger scale, or you're not involved at all, you don't really see all that is needed at a village level. You really do see that it takes a village to build a village.
Yeah.
Well, with that.
Well, here's to no more sludge removal vouchers that you have to sign. Your favorite.
My favorite.
I didn't get a sludge removal reference in the last meeting that he had to do. However, I should point out that you are still required to come to 2 more budget hearings. So, or budget.
Right, yeah. And I've already
Get away that easily.
I've already committed to the 6th too. So, yeah.
I'm thinking future planning board member maybe down the road. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thrown out there. Okay, so round of applause for Dean. Okay, moving on. This might have to be Dean's last motion, so maybe we'll give it to him. Number 9, consider motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
And second.
Oh, see, you're not gonna let me go. I see what's going on.
Okay, somebody.
What happens if I vote no?
No.
4 more years. Yeah, I can see where this is going.
I'll second that motion.
He's giving out.
So, didn't want to let you go, Dean.
Roll call, please, Patty.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor.
trustee Ganance,
in favor.
trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
trustee Scally,
In favor.
Mayor Denine.
Favor. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. We have a few meetings. We have March 10th, and we maybe on the 17th, we would let you know, but the police reform group will be holding their public forum on Thursday, just a reminder. So hope to see you there. Have a great night.
Night all.
Thank you, everyone.
Michelle, can you transfer host back?
I'm trying to figure out how to do that right now.
3 little dots in the top.
There's 3 dots where, Care?
All right, well, never mind. Then just end the meeting for all. You end
Stop
it?
recording.
Yep, you can